Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the League of Ordinary Gentlemen proudly brings to you your 2020 draft review. Yeah, that was good, right? That's good. That's good. Huh? You're sorry? You are sorry. You are sorry. All right, so who we got? We've got JT the Commish. We've got
Brian the Chuckles.
Brian.
We've got
Jake.
Ryan's here.
This is so ridiculous.
And
Drew.
Bolded.
There we
There
go.
we go. That's your
Question mark.
That's your team name, dude. That's your team name. All right, so we'll get started with a little bit of 2020 fantasy football draft review. So, Brian.
Yeah.
Give me a takeaway from the draft. Takeaway from the draft. Either somebody you think maybe had a better team than you realized initially, somebody maybe that took somebody Saturday that maybe shouldn't have gone there, but looking at it now, maybe it's a good pick.
The draft was probably the most competitive draft we've had. It's gotten closer and closer every year, but this year I think it was harder to separate the top tiers from the bottom tiers. I think it went fairly smooth. Nobody really did that huge stretch.
Edwards,
Yeah, himself. How many Edwards get the other night?
he did pretty good
19?
for a rookie. Pretty good.
Yeah.
And ballsy to take it where he did. I mean, I know some projections had him going at 7, but it's always a risk to take a rookie in the first round.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're going to get with a
That's right.
COVID-stricken season, no preseason.
You want to put a cap on the whole thing. Michael was complimenting Jordan halfway through the draft.
Oh, God. Was he really?
Yeah, so that's just a lot.
It's a brand new 2020, man.
So even talk about Jordan's team for a second. I mean, as much as he kind of shied away from it, what juju are we going to get this year? Is it from 2 years ago with Big Ben where he put up monster numbers with Antonio Brown still there? Or is it last year's juju where he wasn't a number one receiver?
He's got a lot of question marks, minus Julio and Michael Thomas.
At running back, Antonio Gibson.
Even Diggs, though, number 1 in Buffalo. Who knows how Josh Allen's going?
I agree.
Juju in Pittsburgh. Lamar Jackson, he had 1 year.
He's got a lot of stability at running
Gronk's
wide
come
receiver.
out of retirement. Jarvis Landry, he had an off year last year, did he not?
He had a good receiver.
He had a pretty good year.
You don't have to get mad because there's no Bears on there. He's got a solid wide receiver.
He's got Cohen.
He does have Cohen.
He's a half a Bear. He's a
He's a
Cohen,
baby
5'6",
bear.
but he can't help his
He's
height.
Aggie Pride, man.
He's a Cub.
He is a cover.
I would say Jordan's running backs
It's
scare me a
worrisome.
little bit.
And the fact that Washington cuts Peterson and
They
they
did.
don't name Gibson the starting running back. Like everyone in the world thought that was going to be the guy, and they went up. Who
They don't know who the running back is. I don't know what their team name is.
Who did
That's
they-
true.
Bryce Love might be the starter, or J.D. McKissick.
Yeah, it was.
J.D. McKissick was number one.
Latest
one
I
guy-
read on Bryce Love was that he's a 3-month project to get. They think in 3 months they can have him back to where he was.
Well,
in
dang, that's a
college.
season wash. Like
I mean,
you don't keep
he
Bryce
already
Love.
lost all year last year.
And you took Bryce Love, right?
Yep, one of my wasted picks.
Wasted pick?
Nobody should
Not
I've already-
stashing him?
I've already dropped.
Already
hey.
dropped. Whoa.
Hey,
whoa.
all right. Hey, there.
Uh,
So any other all right, let's look at it this way. So Jake, you said, hold on, Andrew, you said Edwards-Helaire. That was like takeaway from the first round, Edwards-Helaire. Going at 7.
We haven't had all week 1 complete.
That's true. That's true.
I guess
Who would you
him being a rookie going in the first round and performing the way he did in his very first game was pretty impressive.
I agree.
Thank you, guys.
Jake, what would you say top 3 rounds? Is there something that sticks out?
Well, the first one that does jump out. I mean, Kamara, I know Scorp traded out of Ford to get away from him because of concerns with him. But going at 9, I still think is a steal. And I'm not questioning the picks ahead of that. But Kamara at 9 is a great value pick. And then the other one, I mean, Kenyon Drake and some mocks that y'all have been seeing, I'm sure in y'all's leagues as well, has gone early. He's the last pick of the second round.
Yeah.
And, I mean, you even look at Michael's draft there. He went Barkley, Drake, and then James Conner. And, was James Conner the best available there? I've heard some reports out of Pittsburgh that I don't know if he's going to be worthy of where he was taken there. I think there were some other running backs that could have gone.
Yeah. I can see that.
I tell you, the biggest, and I'm just bringing this up because I just saw it, that Cam Akers pick. I don't know how that's going to pan out from what I've been
That's
saying.
a good call.
Because Daryl Henderson, Cam Akers, and Malcolm Brown,
That's
all
true.
three, they've
don't
listed
know- they don't
Henderson
know
as
who
a
the
starter.
starter is.
yeah, they've said they're going with a three-headed
And
monster.
and Reitmeyer took him in the fifth, which I guess that's about where his ADP was.
I think it's a little early.
I think Le'Veon Bell was actually projected to go there, but I mean, Reitmeyer rolled the dice and still got Le'Veon in the next round, his very next pick, so it worked out. You could have easily flipped those picks and it still worked out.
And like what Ryan is saying right here, look at the guys who went after him and Gibson. Kareem Hunt, which I think has way more value than both of them. What about Swift? You know, I mean,
Well, I
know
think
right now
Le'Veon's got more value.
Yeah, I would say that too.
like that's what there's 3 or 4 names I point and say, man, I would have took them before. I still
Well,
think Philip Lindsay's a piece.
That whole line below them 2 running backs, I would have taken over them 2 running backs.
I would have too. I
Now,
think those
granted,
2 running
they
backs.
needed running backs at that
Well, for
point.
the people that can't see the board, Andrew, who are you talking about there, buddy?
What do you mean?
Antonio Gibson, Cam Akers.
Okay.
Those 2 picks, middle of the 5th round.
But who are the people in the line below them?
Well, you got
Uh,
Will Fuller, Raheem
Mostert.
Mustard, yeah.
T.Y. Hilton, Kareem Hunt, Stephon Diggs, Le'Veon Bell, Marquise Brown, Keenan Allen, DK Metcalf, and Tyler Lockett.
Thank you for that.
And I agree with what Andrew
What
said.
couldn't you see?
I can
Well-
see everything. People that are listening to this can't.
Oh,
Yeah, you got to remember that. It's people listening, man. We're going worldwide.
but that was all the 6th
Pitbull
round.
stuff.
Akers and Antonio Gibson got taken in the 5th.
I think Singletary's a bad pick.
He's falling.
He's
All
going
right.
to fall off the board here in a minute.
And to be honest, with the Singletary call right there, you know, it does get worrisome to listen to Buffalo kind of talking about fumbling concerns with him. He had a breakout season at the end of last year, had a lot of big games, but it's never a good sign when the team's like, yeah, he won't stop putting the ball on the ground at
That's true,
practice.
that's
We're going
true.
with Zach Moss. So I was one that was big on him before the draft and read a lot more kind of afterwards. And, you know, Zach Moss could steal a lot. I'll tell you this, if you have Singletary on your team and you could try to make a trade for Zach Moss right now, I would try to work something out just in case that switch happens during the course of the year. I would definitely handcuff myself.
Right, so not getting rid of Devin Singletary, but getting both Singletary
You
and
need a
Moss.
handcuff.
Right.
Singletary went 3 picks before Zach Moss.
Right. I mean, it was pretty close.
impossible. for
Right,
that to
it was
happen in
pretty
our league.
close. Who is a quarterback that you think, I don't know, maybe went too late, too early?
Rodgers.
Rodgers.
He
Rodgers
was
went. Let's see. Rodgers went in the 14th round, the last
pick of the 14th.
So
No,
let's
first pick of the 14th.
first pick of the 14th round. Why do you think Rodgers is? Do you think he
Because
was
of
drafted
his
too
resume.
early?
No, I think he was drafted. That was the biggest steal of the draft.
The biggest
In my
steal.
opinion.
Okay, let's talk about that. All right, so biggest steal. You think it's Aaron Rodgers?
Well, I've looked at it again after that night, and I still think Rodgers is the biggest steal.
Who's he
I still
throwing
think
to?
I know.
he's
That's-
Who's he throwing to other than Devontae Adams? I think is the
Well,
reason why he's
Lazard.
falling.
It doesn't matter. His resume, his longevity.
It wasn't great. It wasn't great last year.
It was. His touchdown to interception ratio was.
All right, well,
Fantasy-
What was the
let's pull up.
26-4, I think.
Let's
I mean,
pull
he
up.
did
It was his
he did
lowest
throw 40
yards.
touchdowns.
Lowest yards,
But-
lowest quarterback.
And how
rating.
many
touch-
seasons has he missed games in here recently?
Yeah, but he broke up with Danica, so I think should be good now.
That's a good point. That's X Factor stuff we're
That
talking
is.
about. Game changer. All right, so let's see.
Wow.
Look at that guy.
Why he ever broke up with Le'Veon Bell?
Smile. You smile. And never mind. I ain't seen it.
By the way, he is a
I'm
Bears fan and obsessed with Aaron Rodgers.
All right. So here's his games over the past. Well, I will just say this: he got hurt in 2017, played 7 games. Outside of that, since 2014, he's played a full 16.
But he's been hobbled most of the year last year or 2 years ago when he got hurt against the Bears week 1 2 years ago.
So
he was not the same player.
all right, let's look at his stat line. So, all right, he ended up last year with 4,002 yards. So just barely eclipsed 4,000. In 2015, he actually didn't even get 4,000. He got 3,800. Did not know that. But he had 31 touchdowns that year. So you kind of,
How many have last year?
Last year he had 26 to 4 interceptions.
Is he trending downward? Is he jumping all around?
2016 was his last really good
I think he's
year.
right there. I think. Talking about
Honest-
the X Factor thing. with that
2016, I think he
Lazard
threw
guy's
for
been really
4.
In
good.
his defense, the division he's got isn't the most stacked defensively out of all the divisions.
I would say the NFC West, but I agree. They got a good defensive league.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't say he's. I would say he's kind of.
He's not the QB overall QB one.
No.
anymore.
I will say
Tom
that-
Brady type thing.
He's not QB
Nobody
one, but
expects
he's
Brady to go out
definitely
there and throw for 40.
I agree with Andrew in terms of like he probably should have gone and had Joe Burrow,
Daniel Jones went
Baker-
before him.
Baker Mayfield.
Cam Newton went before
I
him.
think Cam Newton
All
will
right,
have a
wait a
better
minute,
year
Andrew.
than
Let me
him.
ask you this question: what quarterbacks up there would you take ahead of Aaron Rodgers?
Would I take ahead of
Yeah,
Rodgers?
they got drafted
Well,
ahead of
I
him.
would. I mean, the obvious two: Mahomes, Jackson,
Okay.
Deshaun Watson, probably Brady because again longevity.
Because you did take Brady.
I don't know. I guess Dak, based on last year, I probably would have.
Okay.
Carson, I wouldn't have. Drew Brees, I probably would have. Daniel Jones, I wouldn't have. Russell Wilson, I would have. Kyler Murray,
puts up huge stats.
I guess I would based on his rookie year too. Andy just got Hopkins, so
Who drafted Hopkins?
That was
Brian Roberts, huh?
Who drafted Murray?
Also, Brian Roberts.
Ah,
Who drafted Greg Olson?
Who
Look,
did
look.
draft? Oh God, you did draft
that
Greg
is my
Olsen.
still the draft. I got a TE1 with one of the last two picks of my
Will
draft.
Disley's the TE one.
Hold
No,
on.
he is not.
Greg
Will Disley
Olsen.
can
14th
buy a
round.
lollipop.
14th round, Greg Olsen. So is that your still of the draft?
That's my still the draft.
Interesting.
Everybody say their own steal of the draft. Who they
You're,
think they
you're
got.
on your team.
Yes, on
Okay,
your team.
okay.
On your team.
Here, let's go to let me get off of my team. Let's get back to draft so I can look at everybody's team and then pick from my team. You know what I mean?
Get the draft order.
So let's see. Let's go to draft results. If I'm just looking at my team, the guy that I think that I already know this. Ryan, get the music.
We don't have any.
Not that one. Not that one. Not that one. You know what it is, Ryan?
I know it, but I want you to do it a cappella.
Return of the Mac. How's that? Return of the Mac. Marlon Mack, dude, in the 13th round, and he's starting the season. Marlon Mack is a better running back than people remember.
And
Marlon
he
Mack,
has the best offensive line in football.
best offensive line in football. Jonathan
Yeah,
Taylor,
say
I'm
about
not
that.
I'm not hating on Jonathan Taylor. I think Jonathan Taylor might end up taking that job eventually. But for the first half of the season, Marlon Mack in a contract year, I'm going
think
to take
Jonathan
Marlon Mack.
Taylor takes it by week 4.
I don't think that.
I had Marlon Mack last year, and there was, I think, 5 games he clipped 100.
Mack
It was a
is
good
the-
line then, too. He didn't run strong between the tackles.
Yeah,
He
but that was
slow
also
until-
with Andrew Luck retiring right for the season.
Yeah,
Jacoby
But he
Brissett.
got the ball.
You got P. River.
I'm just telling you,
Rivers is in there.
teams will quickly jump to a Jonathan Taylor just because, I mean, he's young. His legs are young. They're going to just run the crap out of him.
He
I
killed
think-
it in certain Disney movies. Fantastic at Home Alone. Came back in Last Man Standing for a couple appearances.
I do agree it was a steal in the 14th,
You know what?
though, for a guy
The
that will
fact
probably
that he
still
was
start
dating
a minimum
Tim
of 5
Allen-
years.
Yeah, let's take a look.
And then he
See,
actually played Tim Allen.
Marlon
slot.
Mack
Did
game
he-
logs.
Why did he? Is it because of the Jonathan Taylor draft pick? That
Yeah.
he fell.
So he had three games over 100 yards, 25 for 174, 29 for 132, and 14 for 109. Also had
And who were
one,
those teams that he got
2,
against?
3,
Jacksonville?
4, 5, 6 additional games over 74 yards.
Yeah, but
He did have some bad games. They had 6 for 10, 20 for 51, 11 for 39, 8 for 44,
What's
13
gonna
for
go
38,
with a
11 for
great
19.
offensive line.
Yeah,
So
what's gonna go
there
for
is
this
some up and downs for sure.
They're probably going to be winning more games than they were last year, so it's probably
Yeah.
going to be positive game scripts. They probably get more carries than. I think he only had 3 or 4 games where he got more than 20 carries.
Hey, his best game,
Was against the
25 for
Chargers.
174
Well,
against the Chargers.
He
Yeah.
said that right when they pulled it up.
His second best game was against KC, 29 for 132.
And they won that game.
And
because
they did
controlled
win
the
that
clock.
game.
I'm pretty sure the Chargers beat them for what it's worth.
I think mine's Marlon Mack. All right, Brian, who you got? You still sticking with Greg Olsen
For my
for your
Steal.
steal
on my team.
on your team?
Yeah, it's Greg Olsen on that
It's
line.
Greg Olsen. All right, what's your all right? If Greg Olsen plays 16 games healthy, what receptions, yards, touchdowns? What do you think he ends up with?
Oh, really good.
This might be a bold prediction.
It's Russell Wilson, man. I got to think about it.
All right, well,
I'll say 7 touchdowns
Okay. So this is like best case scenario.
Best case
All
scenario.
right, 7 touchdowns. How many yards?
I'll say 450 best case scenario.
450.
Yeah.
450 best case scenario. is
That's
7
Basante
touchdowns.
Shenko.
How many
number there.
catches is he having?
Honestly, probably 20 on the whole
And
season.
this is your steal of the draft?
Absolutely. A guy getting 7 touchdowns in one of the last 2 spots on my team.
Out of 20 catches.
So
The
that's
efficiency is crazy.
That's equating to maybe a little over 1 catch a game and
Absolutely.
Half a touchdown?
Absolutely.
All
So
right.
they're gonna be on the field that much.
that's about 4
He's
fantasy
gonna be a red
points.
zone guy.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay.
All right, Ron, who you got? Your steal.
Steal of the draft would either be, I'd say, Marquise Brown in the 6th. A healthy year with Lamar. Stack boxes, he's going to be able to beat him over the top. Or Dak Prescott in the 8th.
I was surprised Dak.
Dak was the number 2 quarterback last year, and he replaced Randall Cobb and Jason Witten, who's 750 years old, with C.D. Lamb and Blake Jarwin. I think that offense is only going to get better.
Turned 751 this year.
He does. He's playing for Oakland.
He's playing for Las Vegas.
Man,
It's not Oakland anymore.
who really
Get your
cares?
stuff right.
All right,
San Diego.
Dak went a lot later than I ever thought he would.
Where do they have it? What was his average draft?
Dak, ADP,
Yes, there was a
pre-draft
6th, I
rankings.
think.
We can look at this. All right,
What'd you say?
I think it was the 5th or the 6th.
Dak.
Where'd you get?
8th. He was in
Number
number 4.
Number
draft default rankings. Number 4 overall.
Thank you, Yahoo.
He was the
Good.
4th,
Okay, that's
he was the
Yahoo,
4th
that's-
highest player as far as points last year.
Let's try draft kit,
Let's try draft kit.
or I could get a mock draft maybe.
Could go to mock draft.
Well, you could just go to the fantasy teams and see what his ranking is.
Hold on, I can go right here. Look, top. Yeah, this is draft rankings. Overall top 300. Last minute rankings. So this is from the 8th. So this was a couple days ago.
Not now.
Yahoo, dude, you're freaking dropping the ball.
We'll look that up and get
Yeah,
back
well,
to you later date on
yeah. Ron, why don't you look that one up for us?
that.
Check his
But
ADP.
either way, it's a steal.
Check his ADP.
We
Yeah,
have
the
the
tech-
technology.
I can't take your thing. All right, Jake, what do you think your biggest steal was?
I agree with that. Ryan's was. I think it was Dak. I was about to take Dak there. I was really disappointed.
Mhm.
I was surprised he lasted that long. You know, I got 2. I know I'm not supposed to do that right now, but I like the Russell Wilson in the 9th. I mean, considering he was the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7th quarterback. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, he was the 7th quarterback taken off the board, and he's a continuous top 5 quarterback in fantasy football. So I feel good about that. And then my other one, I mean, if Andrew wants to talk about Aaron Rodgers, I'd love to have the number 2 on that team with people going to shade to Devontae Adams. I'd double cover him. I mean, last year we saw teams triple cover. So Lazard's going to get a bunch of one-on-one matchups. So Lazard in the 14th to me, I mean, I really think he could be my wide receiver 3.
He's got to prove himself this year.
Sure.
We'll find out if Lazard's good.
Scantling,
There's not like there's a
Scantling
lot
was
of-
the number 2 last year, and he didn't do.
Rodgers was the reason he got playing time last year.
Right.
Lazard towards the end of the season.
He was a big Lazard guy. They've blown him up during camps. They've made a lot of big deals saying that he solidified himself as the number 2. So
He's a
I
big boy, too.
feel
Yeah.
good. He's 6'3".
And they didn't draft a wide receiver in the draft, so they've got a lot of faith in him for some reason. So he's got to have something.
I can see that.
Just saying, I feel like the upside in the 14th round is tremendous.
Too good to pass up.
All right,
Dak Prescott, by the way, was a 53rd overall ADP, which is the beginning of the 6th round.
and you got him in the
I
8th.
got him in
Yeah,
the
that's
middle
pretty
of the
solid. And considering
Wilson.
I thought that quarterbacks. I knew I took a quarterback early, and then Jordan took one right after me. I thought maybe quarterbacks would have go a little bit earlier than they typically do.
Yeah.
After that,
I took Mahomes in the 2nd round last year.
I got a steal there.
Who's your steal?
I already said mine. Mine is Marlon Mack, and I'll say my other. I'll play if we're going 2 steals.
I didn't mean to.
My second steal, probably Pat Mahomes in round 3. I didn't think he'd make
I'm
it.
going McCaffrey with the 2nd overall pick.
You
Let's all say yeah.
shake my hand. Shake my hand. All right, Rams did it.
Russell Wilson's was 54, so he was one
okay.
spot behind Dak.
I think Mark Andrews is mine.
Mark Andrews.
I think Mark Andrews in the 5th.
Get some ADP on that name.
Possibly.
Which one?
Mark Andrews.
Will do.
Mark Andrews, dude, you get in the fifth round.
I would say him in the fifth round.
Yeah, I mocks that I was doing. Mark Andrews going in the third round, or he might be in the fourth. And
Mark
then you get him
Andrew
in the
was 39th overall, so that's the end of the fourth round.
Well, then that's about.
Yeah, you got him a little bit later
Or
than
maybe
that. But
fifth
yeah. What about dude? You got James White in the 10th. I think, dude, James White's.
But we don't know how that offense. is
But
gonna be.
James White's not gonna like win you leagues. He's not. But
PPR
what he's going to
league,
do,
he's solid.
he's going to keep your running backs.
Andrew, I think you got a surplus.
But you got a surplus of running
Andrew,
backs.
you might even put your first rounder on the bench some weeks. I tell you what, David Johnson looked good last night.
I think so. I think David
His
Johnson.
jump cuts and his explosiveness looked like it did in that Arizona season where he went the heck off, Andrew. That's to me right now. I would have had him going second, maybe beginning of the third round. I'd have him ahead of James Conner, who went beginning of the third. So I think your pick with him in the fourth was a steal.
But that pre-draft, you would have taken him over Connor with his injury history.
No, I did get
No, we got a
sneak
one game. We got a one game
preview.
preview last night.
But
So
we know what
he
he's
went. He
capable
went
of.
about where. He went about.
Yeah,
where,
that was where he should have been drafted. But based on who David Johnson's been in the past and healthy with a system that's set up for a running game when they have one,
I mean,
maybe he benefits.
Keenan Allen might be another one just because
Because he's the best receiver in the league.
He just got a bad quarterback throwing.
Right.
Very
That's
true.
his. That's his.
But I mean, maybe Herbert comes in and lights
The
it up.
reason why Keenan Allen fell the way he did is because people are
Don't
not
trust
sure about Tyrod Taylor.
Wow.
Because he was a second rounder, third rounder the past couple of years. And he's been healthy the past 3 or 4 years. It's just that we don't know what that offense is going to be in Los Angeles.
See how long did you got it?
No, I'm working on it.